This video is going to show you how to enter in Alabama physical fitness test scores for students. This video is being recorded in a training server. These are fake students with fake data. Any likeness to any real student is purely coincidental. I'm starting off in PowerSchool SIS and I'm at my school level. The first thing I'm going to do is search for my student that I want to enter scores for. Once my student screen loads, I'm going to come over here to Academic Records, and then under Fitness, I'm going to click on Fitness Scores. My Fitness Scores screen will populate, and I will see any previous scores that have been entered. I also have a filter where I can search for a certain score that was previously entered. I can type in my search parameters here and apply. I can also add in additional filters as well where I can search by test type, name, date, result, score, or notes. If I have a student with multiple scores and I'm looking for one specifically, I can use these filters to find that. To add in a new score, I'm going to click on Add Score in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to have a flyout box here for my add score. The first thing I'm going to do is choose a test type. Then I'm going to choose a test date. It is going to populate to today's date, so I can change that if I need to. It's also going to ask me for a test term. And then it's going to tell me to enter in a result. So I do have the prompt here, the distance in inches, and I have this prompted text as well. So I'm going to put in a value here. And then I'm going to choose whether or not I want to put in a score override. And then I can also put in notes and accommodations. And I'm going to save that. And here is my most recent entry. I'm going to add a score in the other categories. So I'm going to do the 1 mile run or walk, test date, test term, results in minutes and seconds. And for this one, it does auto-populate a score for me here. And I can do a score override or put in any notes. And there is my new entry. I'm going to add another score. And I can continue to go through and add in all of these different categories. As many times as I need. That is entering in the score results for a student individually on the PowerSchool SIS side. From this point in the video, I can switch to another student without actually leaving this screen. I can use this drop-down menu to modify my current selection here. So I clicked on the student name drop-down menu. If I have multiple students in my selection before I come to the student screen, I could flip to the next student here. I could also use my arrows, or I could modify my current selection and it will allow me to select a new group of students. So I'm going to grab my 12th graders and I'm going to hit continue. And now it's going to take me to that first student in that selection. And it'll take me back to their fitness score page because that was the most recent page I was on. And now in the drop-down menu, I have all of my 12th graders that I could navigate through by scrolling and selecting that student. I can also search for a student in this that's in my selection, and I can use those arrows. This again is going to allow me to enter in those tests individually for students. We're now back at our landing page at the school level, and now I'm going to do an entry for multiple students at once. So I'm going to grab a group of students here, make sure they're in my selection, and then I'm going to come down to my group functions menu, which is this arrow here underneath my selection. I'm going to click on that arrow and I get this pop-up of the options that I have for actions, and I'm going to find my fitness test results option, and I'll click on that. My fitness test results screen is going to load. The first thing I have is my selected students and the type of test. So I can go with my current selection here, or I can do by class. If I wanted to select a certain teacher, and their course, and the section. And now I have the students that are in that class. So you can either use the current selection that you grabbed on that landing page, or you can go by class. And I'm going to go by class here. The next thing I'll do is enter in the test date. It is going to populate for today's date, just like it did on that individual student screen. But I can change that if I need to. And then I'm going to choose my test type, my test term, and it populates the Alabama Physical Fitness Assessment for me. Then I'm going to click Next. And what I do here is I'm going to actually enter in these assessments individual student by student. But what I've done is I've populated the date and the test term all at once, so it makes it go a lot faster. So what I'll do is I'll click on the first name in my list, and it's going to give me a flyout box, and all I need to do here, because everything else is already filled out above this, is enter in the number of reps, or whatever the value is for that test. I have the score override option and the notes and accommodations, just like I did on that individual side. Now I have a save and close option or a save and next. If I were to choose save and close, this is going to save my data. It puts it in for the student and it closes out that box. And I have to click on the next student's name. So I'm going to enter in a result here. Now if I choose save and next, it is going to save that data and it goes ahead and pulls up the next student for you. So notice that Nicholas's data is saved here in this grayed out area, but now I'm on Julie Ann Anderson. So I can put in her information. And just very quickly go through and enter in this information. This is going to save the data for all of these students as I either save and close or save and next. And I can go through this whole list here of students entering in that data much quicker than entering in individually every single test date, test type, test term over on the individual side of things. So this is how I would add in the fitness test results for a large group of students in a much quicker way. We are now going to show how to enter in this information as a teacher over in the Power Teacher portal. This is the landing page for the PowerSchool SIS Power Teacher portal, and you'll see all of your classes listed here. You can do physical fitness entry individually by student as a teacher or as a group, just like we did over in the SIS admin portal. To do this individually, I'm going to click on the blue student information card for the class I need to enter results for. So here's my beginning kinesiology class, and I would click on this blue student information card. When I get to the blue student information card, I have a list of my students on the left-hand side. If I scroll through towards the bottom, I can also easily swap classes here without going back to that landing page if I had another physical fitness class that I needed to enter results for. So I'm going to grab a student. I would click on their name, and then it's probably going to populate the quick lookup first. And over here on the top right hand side, I have a drop down box where I can select screens. Here I'm going to select fitness. From this screen, I have the same filter where I can search for different scores that have been entered previously, and I also have the view to see those scores entered previously as well. I can also use this plus sign to search for specific items. So if I wanted to search by test date, I could search by test date, put that data in, and click apply. To add in those scores individually for this one student who is Carlos Barnett, I'm going to add a score. I'll choose my test type here. My test date is going to populate to the day I'm entering, so if I need to change that, I'll just need to click on this calendar and change it back to the previous date, if that's the case. Test term is going to populate for me, and I can change that as well if needed. And then I'll put in my result. Again, I'm going to see a prompt of what I am entering. So this is the number of reps. And the score is going to populate there. If I need to score override, I can. And I can put in notes and accommodations. When I'm finished, I can click Save. I see the score was added successfully here. And when I'm ready to go to the next student, I would just click on the next student's name. And because I was on the physical fitness test already, it is going to take me to that student's physical fitness test page, so I can just add a score. And I can go through that process individually for each student and each individual score. I can also add in fitness results for a larger group in a much quicker fashion by using this stopwatch icon. So for my fitness courses, I have a stopwatch icon here. I'm going to click on the fitness test stopwatch icon to add these results in a much quicker fashion. For this, I'm going to choose the test date, the test type, the test term, and then it tells me values are entered one student at a time. Click Next to begin entering values. And while they are still entered one student at a time, it is much quicker to do it this way. So I'll click on Next. I'll click on the first student's name here and I'll get that same flyout box, but notice this time everything is already filled out for me except for the result. So I can type in the result here, do any override or notes and accommodations, and then I have the option to either save and close or save and next. If I save and close, it is going to close out that flyout box and save that record for that student. I then have to click on the next student in order to enter their information. If I choose Save and Next, it is going to save Nicholas's information and it's going to automatically pull up Julianne's information for me. So Save and Next allows you to go through your students in a much quicker way. And notice in this grayed out area here, I can still see that it is saving this information for me. And I can go through and enter those scores in, like I said, in a much quicker fashion because all of this detail is already selected for me each time. When working in the Power Teacher portal, if you do not see the fitness option underneath the student information card, or if you don't see the stopwatch here, there is a checkbox that does need to be checked on the course side at your district level, and so you would need to get your PowerSchool admin to turn that on. To show you how to do that, I am now over here at the district office, and I'm going to come over to District Management, Courses and Programs, and Courses. If I want my teachers to be able to enter those fitness results over in Power Teacher, I'm going to need to turn that on for my courses that I want the teachers to be able to do that in. So I'm going to search for a course. I have the same filter that I did over on that fitness test. So I can choose by name, number, whatever I need here. So I'm going to search for beginning and click apply here, and here's my beginning kinesiology. So I'll just click on that course, whichever course I need to allow teachers to enter in results for. On the general tab, if I scroll down, there is a field here to use the course for fitness tests. I need to make sure that I check this box if I want to allow my teachers to be able to enter those results over in PowerTeacher. If this box is not checked, they don't see those options, so I can check it, come to the bottom, and hit submit. And then your teachers will be able to enter in those results over in the PowerTeacher portal.